All right, I'm Chuck Phillips, South Alabama Home Inspections, and welcome to another edition of Southern Home Talk. I'm in an older house that's built, I think, in the 1940s, and you can look at these walls, and you can see they kind of look okay, I guess. I mean, they're dirty, but this is kind of a situation I wanted to point out too, because most of us don't think there's a problem unless it's something you can see. And so, but this is a problem that many houses have. In fact, I call it the problem no one thinks they have. And that's moisture problems inside the home. You cannot feel 60% humidity, and you really need to have a monitor to gauge that with. And that's why it's good to have one of those to monitor the inside of the house, the attic, the crawl space, the garage, and outside. They make these monitors. You can buy them on Amazon, and they're relatively inexpensive. But this is what can happen if you don't know what's going on with the humidity level in your home. You can see, look back here on the wall, hopefully this camera will catch it, or sometimes this light will block it, but that's more than likely fungus. And that's where it's going to express itself the most. It's inside the wall cavity. And if you actually see it on the outside of the wall, that means it's really bad. And so yeah, this is where that goes. And of course, wood is a good food source for that as well. And so let's go on down here to the bottom part. This is where they cut an access to run some new plumbing. But you can see that there is some seepage going on right here. And it's probably coming from these gate valves. Also too, this is what is called a gate valve with a turn handle. I highly recommend you don't use these. Use a ball valve. They're easier to turn off, and they're less likely to leak as well. And so anyway, that's what they've done. They put these gate valves in here. And so, but also too, this wall cavity is now damp, which is contributing to the moisture problem inside this wall. And so that might be the reason why this has really gotten pretty fungus looking there. So anyway, I figured I would just go ahead and make this a short, sweet, and to the point little narrative about moisture inside the house and how important it is to monitor that so you don't create big problems. I mean, that really can create some massive problems down the road. And so go to Amazon and look at the reviews on them, and go ahead and purchase one of them. You may be surprised, of what you're able to discover as a result of installing one. Now, another thing too I recommend as well is to put damp red buckets inside closets, and really the best place to put them is like on a top shelf. And you'll be surprised how much moisture will be absorbed by that bucket. And it's also good to date that bucket too, so you kind of get an idea how long it took to fill up. But closets are, for the most part, are not vented well, or they usually don't have an air return in it or air duct as well. And so if you don't have a lot of circulation of air through the closet, this is a real good place for moisture to build up. And so I highly recommend you put these damp red buckets in every one of your closets, and you'll be surprised what you discover when you do that. I also have an episode on my channel too about damp red, and there's also some other products that you can use as refills that's not as expensive as damp red either. But damp red's not that pricey, but I go through quite a bit of it, so I buy it in bulk. And also, I feel to point this out too. And look at this electrical panel. It's in a closet. This isn't a good place to have an electrical panel, but that's just where they put them. And so it's missing the two bottom screws here. And I said, so I wonder why it's missing. Well, look how this breaker is. It's not flush with the outlet of the panel. And so this is really a safety hazard here, because this may prevent this breaker from tripping. And so anyway, there's just many things that you have to look at and evaluate as a home inspector, for functionality and safety of the home. So anyway, hope this has been informative. Take care, guys.